Hello friends, it's Vervain, and I am here working in my newest junk journal. I made it a while ago, and you can see the flip through of it empty from a while ago. I don't remember what I called it, but I'll link it below. So I made it at the beginning of the year, and one of the other journals that I made at the beginning of the year that I've been working in this year is now full, with the exception of a couple. I ordered some photo prints that I'm waiting on to kind of finish it off. And when I do that, then I will do a flip through of that journal finished. But for now, I'm moving on to working in this new one. And I did a similar concept to this concept for this page in my last journal, but I'm doing it very differently in this one. So I thought it was worth making a new video about. And this is about how I'm choosing to deal with things that make me sad or angry, or things that I am letting go of, basically. Letting go of things that don't serve me. And because I think a lot of like part of why we journal is to process emotions, and to, getting that out on paper is a way of letting go of the thoughts that don't serve us. It's letting them out of our head and onto paper. But when I'm working in something like a junk journal, where I'm placing such a high value on the beauty of the finished product, and like wanting to really take it in, like when I just write in a journal with words on paper, I don't really go back and read those very often. When I make this sort of thing, I go back through my junk journals all the time, especially while I'm working in a particular journal. I'll go back and look at the other spreads all the time. And then when it's done, I'll still go back and look at that journal again. So I want to have a way to process and let out the things that make me sad or angry, or that otherwise don't serve me, without having them be like obvious on the page. And so what I decided to do for this one is to make sort of a goblet of fire, not necessarily in the Harry Potter sense, but like a cauldron of sorts, a chalice of fire, into which I can put little journal bits about things that make me sad or angry or whatever. So I happened to have this like hot glue stamp that I made, of like an Ace of Cups style chalice kind of thing, a long time ago. It was just hot glue on cardboard. And so I used that to make a gel print here on my 5x7 gel plate. And then I went over that with my embossing pen. So it's just like a clear sticky ink. And I went over some of the lines that are there, and then I kind of like changed some things. Like I put different runes on it for, there's Thurisaz, which is like a destructive protection rune. Like I want to burn these things and destroy them and make them go away. And Kenaz, which is a rune of like creative use of fire. So it's like, how can I shift these things, to serve me, rather than to be things that like bring me down? How can I make them things that are better? I think those are the only runes that I put in there, and then I put a bunch of the elemental fire triangle. And I did pick this page because I liked it for this, and then I decided that it just needed to be black. I wanted higher contrast for the flames, and so I went ahead and painted it black. And I didn't show this in this video. I did it right before I started filming, but I actually tipped in that rose envelope right between this page that I'm painting black and the next page, because the next page is kind of about romance. And I don't want like things that make me sad and angry, even contained within a goblet of fire, to be facing like a poem about romance and, stuff about my love life, which is really wonderful. I have a really fabulous husband, and I don't want, like magically, I don't want those things contaminating each other. Energetically, I don't want it. So a rose, I feel like, because of its thorns, is a strong symbol of boundaries, and like because it's a plant also of like turning things that are in the dirt that don't serve us into beautiful things like blossoms. So I thought that that was a good like protective layer to put in between those two things. And then roses are also romantic. So that's there. And now so I did the gel print on the paper, and then I did like gold embossing pen and gold embossing powder and melted that with my heat gun. And I'm now going through my red and orange and yellow scraps of paper. And I picked out a bunch that felt very fiery to me. Some of them had like hot chili peppers on them and stuff. And I'm cutting them into kind of like licks of flame shapes. And then I think I may have already done it with my knife. I cut like a little slit. Yeah, I already did it. I cut a little slit in the opening of the goblet, and then I wanted to make it easy to put the flames in. I was originally planning on like gluing all of the flames in place, but I ended up just gluing the flames to this little slider card, and then you can kind of pull the flames in and out. And I think that is a better decision. And also it feels like more magically interactive. So like now when I can take the flames out and then put in a thing that I've journaled about. It has to be a small thing, obviously, because it's a pretty small pocket. But, I journaled on like something the size of a Post-it note, and you'll see that later. So here I am just gluing all of these licks of flame down onto this little card that is just the right width to fit into the slit in the cup. And stiff enough that it kind of helps hold everything together in a nice sturdy way. So we're putting some art glitter glue just around the outline of the chalice. So I did go all the way around the chalice, but since that slit is open, it's still a pocket, if that makes sense. So you can kind of see that operating there. And then comes some of the papers that were the licks of flame were kind of like inhibiting the ability to go in the pocket smoothly. I got out some clear Scotch tape and just kind of went over that so that it would have smooth entry and exit in and out of the chalice pocket. So here we have, this is kind of like the completed layout that I envisioned. And then as I was looking at it, I was like, I feel like I want like more of a border. In the last one that I did like a sword, I think, and some other stuff kind of like between the things that make me angry and the rest of the journal as like a barrier to keep those things from affecting the energy of the rest of my journal. And that's kind of what I've done here. So the Ella's, or some people call it Algi's rune, is a protection rune. And then Thurisaz and Kenaz I already talked about. And this is just my little memo sheet. It's just a little bit bigger than your standard Post-it. And I took a little bit of time here writing this out because I really wanted to get out my feelings. I put some of the stuff here in my last journal's envelope of this sort, but I hadn't really ever given myself the opportunity to like really write down this whole situation and get it out of my system. And honestly, I could go over it more, but I'm choosing to let it go, and I'm at a time of transition with this particular thing that makes me sad and angry. And so I'm feeling pretty ready to let it go in a way that I wasn't necessarily before. Like before it was just like, and my old page before that I made in my last journal was just about like, I want a place to write about these things and then put them away where they won't affect the rest of my journal, and they'll be hidden and maybe the energy will be transformed. This is that same concept, but there's a little more of an element of like letting go. Like I want these things gone. I don't want to continue ruminating on this. I want it gone. I want to be free from it. And so I want to feed it to the fire. And so we've made a chalice of fire. And I'm almost done journaling here. But I'd love to know in the comments if this is something that you would consider doing in your journal or grimoire or art journal or whatever. Not even necessarily like this exact thing, but something like this where you're, creating a special place for those less positive, happy thoughts and ideas and creating a special transformative place for those sorts of things. So I have just folded up that little journal entry so that I can tuck it into this chalice of fire where it can remain forever. Because actually, the cool thing about this pocket as opposed to the other one is that because it's, well, just the way it's designed, it's really hard probably to get stuff out of. It's not really designed to have the things that go in it come out of it again later, except for the actual little fire thing. So that was very satisfying, and I hope that you found that beneficial and inspiring. I hope that this inspires you to do something similar, or, better yet, I hope that you don't have that many thoughts that make you sad and angry, but I think we all do, so there you go. And, thank you for joining me in this video today, and I will see you in another video again soon. If you did enjoy this, please do hit that like button and maybe consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more stuff like this. Anyhow, love you big bunches, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!